Boom, guys, we're live. We're live. It's another Monday, and we're about to jump on here with my guy Hung and talk about all things short-term rentals, Airbnb, underwriting, and all that fun stuff. So make sure you guys show up with your questions. I get so many DMs with questions and whatnot, but then people don't show up on the live, and then after that, they hit you up with questions and needing help. So, guys, if you need help, this is where you have to come every single Monday. Me and my guy Hung, we're going live at 6:30 EST on my YouTube channel, and we will underwrite your short-term rental deals. We'll give you guidance. We'll answer any questions you may have, and all that fun stuff. So I hope everybody that jump on here that you guys had a great uh, weekend, a great holiday weekend, and you guys enjoyed all the food and the sweets and all that fun stuff. Because I know I did. Took me 2 days to digest. I know I did. Let's see, Mr. Hung. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get Mr. Hung on here. StreamYard. Just he may have lost. So Hung is on the move. Hung is on the move. He's in New York right now, so um, that's probably why. So he's probably logging in from the hotel. And then we're gonna jump on here, guys. If nobody comes with their own deal that they needs help underwriting or have questions, what I'm gonna do is I actually do have a deal that we're gonna go and underwrite with Mr. Hung. So let's see. Uh, I hope you're having a great Monday, guys. Great productive Monday. I hope y'all, if you haven't started working on your 2023 goals yet, I don't know what you're doing. You don't wait for the 31st of December to start working on your 2023 goals. You should start working on them 3 months before 2023 so you can create some momentum, get your vision board, on deck, and stop procrastinating on whatever you've been procrastinating forever, and move toward the goals that you have for yourself, your family, and whatnot. Um, Mr. Dell,
What's up, man? How you doing?
good, how are you?
Good.
Um, I'm waiting for Mr. Hung to show up here. Uh, that's a great mic setup, bro. What type of mic you got?
Road something, just a tiny one.
Oh, nice. I just bought the bigger one. It's on its way.
Oh yeah.
I got full Amazon packs here. I got the 360 camera came in today. So we're not playing 2023, yo.
Yeah, right. Time to get it.
We're going full beast mode with this content stuff.
Yeah, this is the stand that Pace was using in one of his videos. This thing's pretty nice.
Gotcha. So Jackson told me you do have a deal to underwrite as a Airbnb.
Yeah.
I mean, a potential deal.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
a lady in North Carolina. I mean, I'll
mhm.
I'll put the address and everything there.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah, you can put it in the chat. You can see the chat, right?
Yeah.
So Hung is on Asian time. It's either Asian or African. It's one of the two. It's not. This is not U.S. time, yo. So, guys, we're gonna go in here again. Is every single Monday. If you're just tuning in, every single Monday we're going live 6:30 p.m. EST. All things short-term rentals. So whether it's Airbnb, traveling nurses, whatever it is that you have, you can come on here, ask questions, punch it in the comments. I'll be able to see it and show it on my screen and actually answer your questions. Secondly, if you have a deal that you need help underwriting, this is the time to bring it. Every single Monday, 6:30 p.m. EST, me and my guy Hong, we go live, answer questions, and underwrite your deals, or just give you guidance. So the thing is, people don't show up, and then they start blowing me up in my DMs. I need help. I need help. If you don't show up here, please do not blow me in my DMs about needing help. I'm gonna redirect you to this live. So let's see. Let me know when you put it in the chat, though.
All right, I'm pulling up REI.
This is a deal in North Carolina.
Yeah, this is one that came in through REI Black Book, and talked to her on Saturday.
Is that a inbound type of lead?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Actually, it was a cold call by Mayan.
Oh, so he's outbound. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And I just came from the gym, so I need to murder, man. Get my shake on.
There you go.
Get
Get that protein in.
All right. So, closing. What's going on with Hung? Okay, so this is a lead you're negotiating, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not gonna show the address here. I'm just gonna give it to him on the private chat and just have him underwrite it and walk us through it. Because you know how
Yeah, I
people
think
get.
I sent it through the private chat too.
Got it. Okay. Bro.
What's going on? So sorry, I was having some technical difficulties with the hotel Wi-Fi.
You're in New York. How is it in New York?
It's good. It's cold. Taking my
Oh.
parents on vacation for the first time in a while, so
Nice.
it's
Love it. So guys, we got my guy Hong Mei in the building. Again, guys, I was reminding them, Hung, that every single Monday, 6:30 p.m. to show up with questions and the deals that they need help with. Again, people won't show up and then they blow us after the live. So here we are, guys. So Mr. Hung is here. We actually today, so we're gonna keep it short today. Hung is in New York with his parents. Enjoying. So we're just gonna go through. Actually, Hung, this is perfect timing. Dale has a deal, not a deal, a lead. Now we can go over, say yay or nay, is a deal or no deal. But again, just for the people that will watch this and don't know who you are, what market are you in? Introduce yourself really quick. What market are you in? Let's not talk about how you love sushi or whatever. Just keep it short. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. Hey everyone, my name is Hung. I am a short-term rental expert, and I am currently in about 7 markets. It's in between Florida, Texas, Arizona, Louisiana, and Maryland, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Oh, and just picked up one in Virginia as well. So,
Nice.
so yeah. And
Nice.
and yeah, I remote host, so that means I have properties all over. We have systems in place that's able to take on properties and to manage them remotely. Even properties here that's 15 minutes from my house, I rarely ever go there.
Right.
So yeah, it's doable.
Absolutely doable. So, guys, in case you don't know, we do provide management services for Airbnb anywhere, as long as the market doesn't suck. Right. So you can reach out if you need help on that. Also, designing services we do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just so you know. Um, so let me bring up Mr. Dell in here. So guys, today we actually have a lead. It's not a deal. I wouldn't say a deal because we don't have it locked up. It's a lead. So we do have a lead, and we're gonna go over that lead, say yay or nay as Airbnb. Hopefully Dell get his initial terms ready. So Dell, you got Hung, are you able to see the private chat?
I do not see any chat.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. It should be. Dell, how Dell can see the chat? How come you cannot see the chat? Do you
Oh,
I got
have?
the chat on the right-hand side.
You should have like comments, banner, brand, and private. I think, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Is it because I'm not logged in?
You should no. You just you use the link to jump in, right?
Yeah, I used the link to jump in. I don't know why, but I do not have.
That's what Dell did too. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Can you make a comment though? You know what? Let's do this.
Nope.
Dell, email it to me. I'll forward it to Hung. Let me see. Actually, no, Dell. Let's put his email here. I'll put his email in the chat. You can forward it to him directly, and then we can go over this deal. So you said this is a Coco lead, right? It was an outbound.
Yeah, outbound cold call lead came in through the CRM, and I just reached out based on the cold call and talked to her on Saturday.
Okay, this is a potential sub two seller finance. What is it?
It would be a hybrid deal. She's
Hybrid
got
deal?
a mortgage on it. It's a second property, so it would be hybrid.
For those who don't know that what hybrid is, guys, is partly subject to and partly seller finance. So there is a debt in place and then there is equity. So we call that hybrid. I see Mr. Jasper in here, bro. Bro, appreciate you, Jasper. Jasper is always on point.
Jasper, what's going on? Jose, what's going on?
Always showing up. What's up, Jose? How you doing, brother? Dell, you got his email?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Also, that last week when we had talked about that giveaway, did you ended up picking someone yet, Mamadou?
Yeah, guys. So every single week we have whoever tags us in social media. After the live, we pick someone and bring them as a guest for the next show. We actually have one, but she had a emergency last minute. I mean, she had another call, so we'll bring her on. Another day. We'll set up something. Or
Okay.
she said if she can, she might hop on like 7 sharp if we're still on.
Okay.
All right. So I gave him your email, Hung, the VIP casa. So that's the one you should be looking out for.
Okay.
Yeah, just send it over.
Gotcha.
Now, so Hung, let people know when somebody reach out and they're like, "Hey guys, I really need help underwriting a deal in Airbnb." First of all, guys, don't reach out to people and say you want to underwrite an Airbnb. It's not an Airbnb until you underwrite it to see if it works as an Airbnb, right? Hey, I got a potential. The real question is, I got a potential Airbnb. Can you help me look at the numbers and confirm that it is, right? But let them know what do they need to get ready first before they even come to you. Because I got so many people that come and they don't have nothing you can work with. And they just expect you to like pull up the property on Zillow and determine if it's an Airbnb. So especially on creative finance, so this is what we're talking about here. What do they need to make sure they have before you can even underwrite the deal? What are those key, items?
I will say too, the one we've been working on, the cost associated with it, there's things that you don't even think of with the Airbnb when you're looking at it as a regular rental too. So if you if you've never done it before, there's a lot of things that you don't even think about that you need to in order to, make sure your expenses and entry fee and all that is where it needs to be as well.
Let me see. Had to dig your info up. You went into my spam, Dale. What you been doing lately?
Blasting too many
I see
emails.
Nicholas in the waiter. I don't know if this is Nicholas from the team or is somebody else.
So I'm just gonna pull this up on Zillow really quick. They have pictures on there, right? North Carolina.
No, this is there is a picture, but it's off market.
Okay. So no interior or any old interior pictures at all on any of the other like listings website at all?
No, not that I found.
Okay. Let me look at one more. Yeah, no. Okay. So one thing that's going to might be a little bit challenging is trying to comp this property without having all the pictures. So I guess that's like the first thing is making sure that there's pictures, if possible, which makes it all the difference because being able to comp a property is based also. It's not as important on the location. Like location can be a little bit more specific, especially with short-term rental, because when someone's coming for leisure or they're coming for a little while instead of buying a house, it's more so proximity, right? So like is there a huge difference if something's 5 minutes away or 10 minutes away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time it's not really. So but however, when you're trying to comp a property, like one thing that's really important is like if it's a 2-story home, we want to comp it against other 2-story homes. If it's a not as if the property is not as open, then we can't comp against other properties that's not as open either. So like if this, for instance, this property, it's a little bit sectioned off, then I can't comp it against properties that are a little bit more open. So what that means is like, okay, like let's say this property that we're looking at is doing, 10 grand a month, but it's open concept. And ours it's not, it's kind of sectioned off and the kitchen is kind of cut off from the rest of the house. What it's telling me is that we got to take down some walls if we want to be able to do the same thing, right? And so just that alone, like if we take down walls and if it's a load bearing walls, you're already looking at 10 grand just to take down a wall and put a load bearing on it, right? So like that's a big difference. So let me
Because somebody might
see.
ask, why does the pictures matter? I thought it's just a location.
Yeah,
Right? Well, it matters
exactly.
because you look at the house, the layout, and everything, and you determine what the potential is. It's super
Yeah, so
visual. I thought you just sit down, but it's super visual too.
yeah, no, exactly. So I'm not too sure how far we should go into this, but I will still look into it and see what we can do.
Do you have any? So there's no pictures online.
Not that I know of. Just
Dell, we don't
like
have any pictures at all.
No, not yet. We haven't.
Oh, okay.
I haven't got that far
But
with
you
her.
do have an idea of the condition.
Yeah, she says it's she's renovating it to either sell it or re-rent it. Some people had just moved out, so she's actually in the process of doing some repairs. She just put a new HVAC system. She had to upgrade the AC system. Did some paint and carpet and stuff in the house, and she's finishing up some repairs. So she's doing some stuff to the house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just right outside of Charlotte.
Yeah, she's there's nothing on Zillow.
Yeah. So there's one good comp, but it's closer to Charlotte. It's about 6 miles in. However, It's not really updated. It's just, it's got nice stuff in there, but it's not really like updated. So it's got potential, I would say. What's the potential terms that we're looking on this?
Should I just go through all the numbers that I got?
Yeah.
Just the potential term. So he need to. Normally he need to know what is the potential cash to seller or like the entry fee.
Yeah. Okay. So she the PITI is 1458. She's got she wanted 10% down, which on the purchase, so she's asking 400,000. So $40,000 to her. We got no 0% interest, no term length. I went through the term length briefly, but she didn't express that she really cared about a balloon because she's still, she's using it as a second home. So no term length as of right now. And in my estimation, the rents, like short-term or long-term rentals, are like 1,800 to 2,100.
So PITI, you mean, oh yeah. So the PITI on the mortgage is 1458, but I'm sure there's a monthly payment to the seller too, right?
Yeah, monthly payment to the seller would be 170,000. It's like $400.
107. Oh, whew, I was like, what?
Sorry. So I left out the she owes 230,000.
Got it. Okay. So 1458, that's the underlying mortgage, monthly mortgage.
Yeah.
And then she will get $70 on top of that on her equity.
No, 1458. She'd be at I think it's like 390.
Okay, is the 1458 including her equity?
No.
Okay, is on top of that.
Yeah, so she owes 230. She owes 230 on her current mortgage, and she's asking 400. So the equity's 170, $40,000 down on that leaves 130. And so that payment for the 130,000, if I amortize it over 30 years, is like 391, something like that.
Yeah, Jasper is faster than me at doing math. I'm a school dropout. I'm not good at it. So 18 so basically, yeah, I think is about right. So I was trying to find out our monthly expense. So it's 1458 plus you said 390?
Yeah, 391 I think it was.
So let's just call it 392. So 1458 plus 392. So you're at 1850 a month. That's before taxes and insurance.
Taxes are included. She said PITI is.
Oh yeah, you're right. The mortgage is included. Yeah, okay, but is without vacancy repairs, right? On a regular rental. But here we're looking at basically Hong is 1850.
Yeah,
that's without without obviously the PML, right?
Yeah. So if that is the case, let me see. It's it's hard to gauge because I don't know what the inside looks like. There's some comps that's near the property. They are not doing that hot. In terms of like the nightly rates, it's not bad. But not knowing what's inside really makes it challenging because we don't know how much we got to spend to rehab it. We don't know how much we to spend to how nice we should do it because we don't want to overspend because in this area competition is not that crazy, so we don't really need to like outdo anyone crazy there,
right?
But there's one right now that's about 4 miles away. It looks pretty similar to ours, and I think right now they have like 50% occupancy, and they're at like $2,000. I don't think this
$2,000?
thing will. Yeah, I don't think this thing will be crazy. There are some other comps as well in the area, but they're newer listings. Like they're just kind of emerging. They have a high nightly rate, like $400. There's another one that's $350 as well. That's just under 2 miles away. However, again, it's still kind of not as great. I for some reason I can't pull up AirDNA right now to get the occupancy of the area.
Okay. But that seems kind of tight. You said they're bringing $2,000 a month.
$2,000 a month. Yeah, but that's that one that has over 100 reviews. So it's been there for a while. There's newer ones that are less than 2 miles away that looks really nice, and it's kind of, in solitary just by itself. However, I don't know. So let me look at the occupancy seasonality. It's on average seasonality looks like it's around 3,100 a month. It's nothing crazy, I don't think. So I think for just an overview of what this looks like so far, I would probably go the route of either doing a wrap on this.
Okay, better than STR, right? Right.
Yep.
So this is the thing, guys. So few things that obviously before you come and you need underwriting help on Airbnb, pictures super important, right? Even if it's it's like, I think mostly Hung is to give you not only the condition but like the layout of the property and whatnot.
Yeah.
So if you can get that right away, that would be great. But also when you have to like kind of force the numbers.
Yeah, we don't want to force the numbers.
Yeah, you don't want to force the numbers, right? Because you have to remember, guys, so this is a hybrid deal. So one, we have a mortgage already in place. That's a for sure expense every single month. On top of that, because the seller has equity, so this would be a hybrid. So the seller would be seller financing their equity. So every single month, you have basically 3 payments, because most buyers use private money too. So you have the mortgage, you have the seller, who's your second bank, and then you have your third bank, who's the private lender. By the time you're done, you'll be lucky if you break even on as Airbnb. So when that happens, you may want to consider other exit strategies. So Jasper asked a really good question. Do you guys only buy properties that work as a long-term rental and then do short-term rental? So Jasper, if it's in an area that is kind of like a high risk type of area, yeah, we want it to be. What I mean by that is like areas where it's not a lot of like way too much activity and the cash flow is not like a slam dunk type of thing, or properties don't appreciate that much, whatever. Those type of areas, I rather be positive as a regular rental before I even do short-term rental, just in case Airbnb goes down. We want to be able to pivot back to a rental, to a regular rental or a lease option type, right? Ideally. But there is areas I wouldn't mind doing, even if I'm breaking even as a regular rental. If the Airbnb is great, I know it appreciates, it's great locations. At this point, I don't mind doing where I'm breaking even on as a rental, but I will never be negative as a rental. So for example, if a property can rent only for $2,500, I want to make sure that I'm at least breaking even as a rental. So my monthly expense shouldn't exceed my rental potential, right? So I don't want to have an expense of, when I say expense, meaning the mortgage in place, the cash to seller if it's a hybrid, for example. I don't want to exceed the 2,500 if that's what the local rent is. I don't want to bleed money. I want to at least break
Right.
even. If I break even,
Right.
I can always go back and do the lease option or those type of things, right?
Right.
But okay, guys, now everybody look at deals different. So you got to look at your financial situation, what type of loan you have in place, what type of private lender. Is it a long term, 5 years? Is it less? What happens? You got to assess all those things. It's not black and white. It's not black and white.
Yeah, we're not at Pace's level yet where we
I know,
buy for
right?
depreciation.
Yeah, exactly. You can just go and you just buy whatever. So, but
That's
Del,
my next benchmark. That's my next benchmark. My first benchmark was eating and ordering without looking at the price tag. I got that part. Now I need the next one, which is Pace's level.
Love that, bro. That's a huge one. That's a huge one.
That's
Because
a
most
huge
people
one.
stress out when they go out.
Man, I always look, when I didn't have a lot of money, it was always the determining factor of like what I was
Yeah.
eating was
Yeah.
I look on the right first before I look on the left.
Where am I gonna go to restaurant? You know what I mean? Like all those things. Absolutely,
Mhm.
bro. But you see, Dell, everything that is needed to really determine as a but just an overview, I think this wouldn't be a great deal as a SDR. So that means you have to be super conservative on the numbers you're working out with the seller. Because it's gonna be either a lease option or it's gonna be a wrap. Even if we wholesale it, the buyer itself don't have a lot of options anyway, regardless. So they're gonna have a buyer might have to keep this as a regular rental. So you want to look at it as a regular rental. Am I able to pay, the mortgage every month and give the seller some money? If not, if the seller is getting, first of all, she's asking way too much. That 10% down is way too much. Especially if it's something we're gonna wholesale, that's way too much. I don't think a buyer, would buy it, especially with this market. But if we're taking it down and the seller is receiving that, guess what? They have to be silent on their equity for it to make sense.
Yeah, even then it seems a little tight too.
Yeah, but then you can at least do lease option or a wrap, right?
Yeah.
But if
for some of the people that are watching that don't know what that means, like what does it mean when the seller has to be silent?
So silent guys means you still owe them the money, but you're not sending them a payment every single month. So they're not receiving payments, but let's say hypothetically they're financing their equity for 5 years. At the 5-year mark, you still owe them the money, but you're just not sending them a monthly payments every single month, because sometimes that eat up on your cash flow, right? That eat up. Let's say, think about this one, right? This property here, the PITI on the mortgage is 1458. That's an expense. Let's say hypothetically I'm sending the seller 390 every single month. On top of that, and then third, if I'm bringing a private lender for my entry fee, meaning my cash to seller, closing costs, carrying costs, assignment fees, everything involved in buying the property, maybe my private lender is charging me, let's say 10%. That's another $200-300 easy. By the time you're done, you're negative $500 on your cash flow as a rental. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and
so
some people, go ahead.
Yeah, sometimes to mitigate that, guys, is you put the seller on a silent. I still owe you the money, but I'm not going to send you monthly payments. So I'm at least able to cash flow and allocate for vacancy, repairs, allocate for war chest, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and when I had first started out comping and stuff like that, I totally didn't register and account for the debt servicing part at all. So like that was a huge thing, because for something that, like, let's say we're borrowing, 50, 100 grand, 10% of 100 grand, it's a lot of money every single month.
A lot of money. Tell people how you come up with the monthly. How would you come up with the monthly?
In terms of like the debt servicing, or in terms of expenses, or what?
Yeah, let's say you have $100,000 that somebody give you at 10%. How do you come up with your monthly expense on that?
So basically, it'll be $100,000, depending on what kind of position they're in. Like, are they a straight lender where they're only getting interest, right on their capital?
Right.
Like, are they in the wealth preservation phase of their career? where or of their life where they're trying to just preserve their wealth, right? So all they want is just an interest payments or every month versus if they are a equity partner
Mm-hmm.
where they're coming in having a position in the actual property.
Right.
And so let's say you borrowed $100,000 on pure interest for 10%.
Mm-hmm.
You'll take that 100,000, you would multiply it by 0.1, and then basically comes out to $10,000, right? And that's annualized, so you'll have to divide that by 12, and that's how you'll get your monthly payments. And so in
Right.
this case, it'll be $833.33.
It can add up really quick.
Exactly. So, like for that instance, like let's say your property was supposed to net $2,000, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you forgot to add that $800 in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if your ROI was supposed to be 20%, well, now that you add $833 into the equation,
Mm-hmm.
that's almost half of what your ROI was supposed to be
Okay.
projected. So,
Mm-hmm.
now you're probably closer to 13% than if you were 20%
Right.
when you had calculated it. It wasn't that you're wrong; it's just you didn't finish the estimate and the calculations, and that's a
Right.
huge part for sure.
Right. So there you have it, guys. For that deal is a no go. I mean, Hong is on the move right now, but next time, guys, we'll do like a screen share on the next show. So there is a deal next week, guys. We're gonna go over Hong, the deal in Dallas, the $1 million deal.
Oh
This,
yes,
we
mimosa.
took it. We took a complete different turn with that deal.
Hmm.
So the seller is literally this is I haven't dealt with this yet before, guys. Is a seller, he absolutely knows that he is want his cake and eat it too, but he's harassing me for us to buy his property. He wants us to figure something out. At this point, I'm not the one even chasing him. He's just calling me, texting me every single minute. So last time that we spoke, we decided, you know what? Let's just do an ovation. Let us come in, fix up the property, let's list it, sell it, and get done with it because it seems like you need the money. And then I guess yesterday night he had a revelation, and today he's like, "Hey, Mamadou, how about we just partner up? This is interesting, Hong. I've never done this. If it end up working out."
Hmm.
He says we do like a lease joint venture type of mix. Okay.
Hmm.
And what that means is we go in, we spend the money to renovate the property. We manage the Airbnb. Okay. We pay the mortgage every single month. We send him 3K every single month as a joint venture partner. And then at the 5-year mark, whatever the property sells for on the market, we pay off the mortgage, we get credited back the 100, and let's say hypothetically we spend 150K to renovate the house.
Hmm.
We get credited that back then, and then let's say hypothetically on the mortgage, we paid it down 240 grand. We get that back, and then whatever the equity is, then we split it.
Wow. That is very interesting. I feel like this is one of those deals where it will make Pace's what do you call it? He's trying to find the most
Yeah,
creative deal.
you're
So
right.
I feel like this might make it. Like this might be top 3 if
This
it
but
does go through.
this will be a fun one, right?
Hmm.
That's super creative, and because I was talking with him, I was like, "Listen, dude, it gotta be a win-win. We cannot be anyway. We built such a good rapport that he's like, man, I would really love to work with you guys. I want to find something where you're not losing, I'm not losing. Okay, great. So we're exploring two options now. Option one, we do the innovation, where we
Hmm.
just come here, renovate it, put it on the market. Option two is we do the option that I just told you about, which would be a first. Now, the only part where we're still kind of stuck and we need to think about is what is that profit split in the back end looks like? Is it a 60-40? Is it an 80-20? Is it a 70-30, right? And so that's when you also start realizing, oh, okay, So you don't want your cake and eat it too, because if I'm spending all the money, taking all the risk, you don't have any, because his burden right now is the monthly mortgage, basically. He's bleeding money, paying a vacant property. He's tired of it,
Mm,
right? And so, but he also needs 100 grand to pay private lenders that he has not secured on the property, just on private stuff. He also need that. So I'm like, oh, okay. But on where we're partnering up, I'm not bringing anything more than the renovation, the furnishing, and that's it. If you want 100 grand because we're partnering up, I'd rather you go get a HELOC, you secure it against the house, and we just add that as an expense every single month.
right.
I don't want to come and give you on a. If we do that, I'm not willing to give you. And anyway, it's gonna be super interesting. Even the CPAs, I can imagine, because here's the caveat to this: he wants to be able to do a 1031 with this at the end of the 5 year mark
Oh my
without
gosh.
the joint venture hurting it.
He's just sprinkling in a little bit more seasoning when you've got this whole
Right,
African, you
right.
know,
But once we decide,
seasoning already.
if we decide on the 5 year, which is gonna be tomorrow, most likely, then next week we can pick that deal as far as underwriting is concerned and show people, because that would be a big property.
Yeah.
We can show that. So
We've been
I think,
we've been trying to be so creative on that one that we got him thinking creatively too.
look, yeah,
he's
I
like,
think
he's like, oh wait, anything is possible. This is
Yeah, dude.
he just realized he stepped into the Willy
that's
Wonka factory.
exactly
No question.
it.
We
He's
we
like,
pulled the curtain back for this guy.
I swear to God, he keep texting me. He's like, listen, you guys are super creative. I want to work with you guys. So I'm thinking, so
He's
I
like,
think we're going.
I thought of another thing.
Yeah. So we'll see what if we end up penciling out for the long term, which is what I want, so we can get the cash flow, obviously.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's a good one. So
Oh
next
shoot,
week,
CC's in here.
if we end up, if we end up going the route of the short term, then we're gonna talk about that deal, underwrite it, do a screen share. But the main key takeaway, guys, today, one is, just so you know, if you need help underwriting a deal for short-term rental specifically, guys, this show is for normally just for Airbnb short-term rental. We don't mix it. You need to show up every single Monday at 6:30 p.m. EST. If you put in the comments that you have a deal, I'll send you the link in the comments. You can jump on here. We'll go over your deal, underwrite it, all that fun stuff. But key takeaways today that we went over: if you want a deal underwritten, whether it's cash or creative, there's few things that you need in order to help underwrite it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. One, make sure you have pictures.
Yes.
You don't want to sit down and underwrite properties all day if the seller is not even ready to go anyway. Like, it takes time to do this, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys are at least somewhere in the middle of a ballpark number, then you sit down and start underwriting stuff. But before you guys agree on something, if you're talking to a seller and they're asking you $100,000 and you know for sure you're not going to give it to them, don't waste time underwriting it for STR. It's a waste of time. You already know it's not going to work. So negotiate them down to whatever number you think is going to work first. If they potentially agree to that, now you sit down and underwrite it. But make sure you have, pictures preferably, because it's really important. Most people think underwriting Airbnb is just going on, what is the website, Hung? The resources you use?
Like AirDNA,
AirDNA, data Rob. People
yeah,
think it's just going in and
Matchpfizer.
punching in the address and then that's it. It's, guys,
Mhm.
is more to it. So you need pictures, preferably. That really, really helps. If it's creative finance, you need the numbers. Cash to seller, closing costs, we can estimate that. But cash to seller, monthly, if there is a mortgage, what is the monthly PITI? If the seller has equity, what is the monthly payments to the seller? You need to know that. And then, yeah, but that's it, right? The entry fee, basically, right?
Yep. Yeah. The entry
Um,
fee and entry fee pictures, and I think that's pretty much it.
That's it, guys. And if you come here, if it's a good deal, guess what? Not only you got buyers here, we can also JV with you. We can bring the funds. Thirdly, if you have everything, on lock, and the only thing you need is management and design, we got those services. We got you. Okay. So that was really good. I know, Hong, you gotta go. You're enjoying the family. I'm not gonna keep you any longer. I'm gonna
Oh
bring
no,
on
yeah,
Jose here.
I'm enjoying I'm enjoying everything. So for sure.
Jose, I don't think Jose is for. I think Jose is a pre-foreclosure question, right?
I I had one, but now that you guys were talking about a short-term rental, I have another question about another deal that's short-term rental. So I'll
Okay,
take the
Mr. Hong is
advantage of
here.
saying
So,
about
For sure.
do you have? Is it a cash deal, creative?
sub two.
Sub two. Okay, sub two. Fantastic. You have pictures.
Yes. So it's a property. I kind of follow a strategy that Kevin Joe had. Basically, VA loan that they don't have equity,
Mm-hmm.
and they list it on the market. It's over 70 days.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot sell it. So we talked to the agent. We met
Mm-hmm.
in the property. We have pictures, obviously,
Okay.
and we agreed on all the terms. I just want to make sure it makes sense to do a short-term rental on this one.
Okay. This one, Hong, can you do a screen share? Let's go over it.
Yeah, of course.
Jose, can you see the comments or the chat?
Let me
So
see.
So you can punch in the information that he needs.
I am actually.
Oh, yeah, in the chat. Yeah,
going
yeah,
to-
I'll do it right now.
What's up,
Let's
Hong?
see.
You want to move?
Yes, I'm gonna move my thing real quick because I am low on battery.
Okay, let me kick you out in the meantime.
There you go.
Okay, let me see private chat. All right, guys, we're about to underwrite Mr. Jose's deal. He got a sub two on a VA loan, right?
Yeah.
The VA loan following Kevin Cho, Mr. Kevin Chaos strategy. His strategy on pulling low equity lists on PropStream. Is that what you mean by
Yeah.
strategy?
Yeah, that one.
Got it. So he goes on PropStream, guys. He pull low equity list people that have no equity. Is that what he does? And then he reach out to them, or he specifically target VAs.
Yeah, VA or FHA loans that they've been on the market for over 60 days.
So you can
Uh,
specifically pick those in PropStream, VA
Yeah.
or FHA.
I believe so. I think I believe you can do both. I can let me check because I think I
Interesting. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I think he did a Zoom on it, right?
Yeah, he did.
He did a Zoom. So if you're part of the sub two, you should have access to that Zoom. If you're not, I'm not sorry for you. You know what I mean? You should be. Okay. Hung, did you see that in the chat?
Let me see.
In the it should be in the private chat.
Yes. Okay, I do see it. Yeah.
Okay. So try to do a screen share for that one. Let's show folks how we do
Okay.
this. And we can end with this one. I'll call Jose later for his pre-foreclosure.
I'm gonna try and pull up AirDNA on this other website first just to see if I can, real quick. Here we go. Okay. We are good to go. There we go. Can you guys see me?
Yeah, let me add it right here. Boom. Guys, put it in the comments if you can see the screen, hung screen.
Yes. Let me see. All right, first off, let's go with
This is Data Rabu. For those that don't know, outside of just AirDNA, there is a platform called Data Rabu. Funny name. Are they competing with AirDNA, Hung? Who's better?
I mean, they're kind of different because one gives kind of like a big variety of what the market is, and then the other is kind of like more targeted. So it's kind of like a bow and a spear, you know?
Got it.
Yeah, so let me see. Okay, so let's look at this property. It's open, it's nice. It's got granite, it's got an island. It's got a pretty open. Oh, one other thing too that's a pro tip is finding properties that have a lot of natural light already. Like those tends to do really well.
Nice.
Like this has this really nice open patio here. This is in Lake Worth, Florida.
Yeah, it has impact
it's-
windows too.
Okay, sweet.
It's a cute property.
Yeah, I know. So we'll plug it into here. We have, it's a 3-bedroom. And then going over here, we're gonna put into AirDNA rentalizer. Now that's a good number to see, right?
All right.
75K at 429 a night at almost 50% occupancy. That's about 15 nights a month for 75K. Now, if we're able to bump this up to 70K or 70%, you're looking at an extra 30 to 40 grand on top of this, right?
If you're
But
able to bump it to her.
if you're able to bump up the occupancy,
Oh, okay.
right? But again, AirDNA, you kind of have to take their information with a grain of salt because they are aggregating a bunch of listings that have a bunch of different amenities and they bunch it together, right? It's kind of like
Right.
trying to put like 4 of your kids together and then giving out, an average of them 4, right? They're all different. They have all kinds of like different special abilities, right? And
Right.
so it's hard to tell that, you can't just spit out something. For
Right.
instance, I'm sure that they're taking numbers from this listings and this listings, which both have a pool and they're pretty good sizable looking pools as well.
Okay.
And as we can tell from ours, right off the
does.
bat, we
Yeah.
don't have a pool, right? So that's something that we need to take into consideration.
Right. It's almost like Zillow's estimate, basically.
Yeah, it's almost like a Zillow's estimate,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
And so now that I know that, now I go over here, and so typically I go out to 5 miles, as far as 5 miles. In some markets that's a little bit more rural, I'll even go out a little further. But 5 miles gives you a pretty good estimate of like if people have to go out 5 miles further than what they actually intended to, but it's a nice property, they don't really mind, right? But when you're near the beach like this, like another mile is pretty significant. Like, if you're here versus another property that's here right by the beachfront, that's not even in the same realm of things, right? So you kind of have to take that into consideration. And then here, what I really like about data.rabu is that it gives you kind of like a seasonalized revenue projection
Nice.
of the 12 months in this market. And so what it's saying is that within 2.5 miles, this is what the average revenue for these months are for 3 bedrooms in this area. Now, I will go down here. Like, these are some good numbers. Like, they're not bad. Again, what are the terms for this, right? So if we go back here, the terms are $2,800 a month, almost $2,900 a month, right?
This is a straight sub 2 Jose, or is it a hybrid?
Yeah.
Straight sub 2?
Yeah.
So $2,900 a month, right off the bat, what I'm thinking in my head is that this thing monthly expenses are going to be about $3,900 to break even. Because so I always just, for easy math, I do an extra $1,000 for the monthly expenses, and that basically typically covers the utilities, the garbage, the Wi-Fi. The lawn service it has a pool service.
Oh,
And pest control, right? Like that's every quarter.
right.
And so like all those things, and then also like a war chest as well, if you know, when that makes sense. But yeah, like that $1,000 pretty much is a good sum of having all of those things in place.
Right.
Other areas might be a little bit more and higher, but unless you're comping like a really like luxury property, then that $1,000 is pretty safe, I would say.
Okay.
So okay, so first things first. This 3-bedroom right here, it's nice, it's open, it's you know dressed up. It doesn't have a pool, so this is I would probably say one of our comps. Let me see. This is fairly new as well. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, sleep 6. So yeah, this isn't within our realm. I would say this is definitely not in our realm.
Yeah.
This is like comparing your boy and your girl, right? Like it's not even in the same realm.
Right.
Just because on top of having a pool, it's also heated.
Ooh, yeah.
Right. And so heated pools are a crazy amenity. Like every house that we have a pool in my portfolio, I always try and get a heated pool because it pays for itself. Every single time when someone reserved there in the winter, I know for a fact I can make an extra, almost $200 minimum per reservation in the wintertime. So like, 3 months, I would
Right.
make an extra $200 per reservation, and we typically get 8 to 10 reservations, depending on how long it is. And so, just that alone increases our revenue. One way. Another way that we do it too is I'll give you guys a pro tip. Is selling your checkout dates and your check-in dates. So like, let's say like on Monday, someone's
Mhm.
checking out
Mhm.
and then you don't have another check-in until like 3 days later. What
Mhm.
happens is you can try and sell to your existing guests and ask them if they'd like to extend their stay for like, 50% off.
Damn, you do upselling, huh?
Yeah. Because
Oh,
like those days are a little bit harder to sell because there's less eyeballs in them. And so like who's better to sell than to someone who's
then
already
the
staying there?
customer you already have. Guys, is either
Yeah.
you selling or you being sold. That's
Yeah.
how
So
life
like stuff
works.
like that, stuff like that really helps. Okay. So this is another good one. It's fairly updated, right? Spacious home with pool. Okay. So this one has a pool as well. So it's hard to comp these when they have a pool. This house you can maybe comp it. However, it's 2 stories, and I don't think ours is 2 stories. Yeah, so ours
Yeah,
is
that's
not
the
2
one.
stories.
Yeah.
So again, that's hard too. This is only a mile and a half away. That has a pool, and that has a pool,
Damn.
right?
Hey,
Like
Hong,
big difference. Yes.
that one, the one of the first ones that you were looking at,
Yes.
that was 80% occupancy. What do you see there that puts that one at 80 versus the other comps are a little lower, and the one we looked at was 48%.
Yeah. So 80% occupancy, it's actually pretty good. Like that means that in terms of from now until the next 30 days, their average daily rate that they got booked for so far of those 80% is $132, and that gives them a revenue of $3,200 per month. It tells me that they're priced fairly right, like they're booked out, for the next December and January. Like they're priced right. So if they're priced right and they're one single family, a single story home, and they don't have a pool, that tells me that that might be our future, right? So not a fan of that either. And so I'll keep going down. I'll keep going down, seeing if other properties that have better design do even better. And they really haven't proved to me that yet. So you see how skewed sometimes that AirDNA numbers can be.
Yeah.
Like those numbers look great, but that's because they're adding someone's whole family together and then giving you like a Frankenstein comp. That's not realistic, because
if you don't dig
look
deeper,
nothing
you
like
jump
this.
in, and you're effed up.
Yeah. So I think for this property, I would probably say, and here I'll play devil's advocate and I'll extend this out, and we won't look at some of the properties that are, we won't look at the properties that are closest to the beach. Let me see. So now that we have a little bit more breathing room, I don't know where this thing is located. Give me a second. So it's down there. So this is 2.7 miles away. Can't do that. That looks way too nice. Like, I might go broke looking at this. Right? Like, it's just surrounded by pools. And so that's why you get this inflated number over here. Is that they're taking all the properties that have pools and properties that don't have pools, and they're putting it together and giving you that average. And so that's not something that's realistic if you're looking at these numbers, right? And that's what sometimes people don't tell you, because here's some of the, because I have the pro version. Here's what it's basically saying to, like, what's my other comps? Like, this is obviously not my other comps. Like, there's no way these are other comps. With here's another one. Like, all the, what in their head took a comp in their head for us, or for them in their head, a comp is that it has something similar to our beds and bath count and our guest count. That's pretty much it. It doesn't really segregate, like, if a property has a pool or doesn't have a pool, right? It doesn't know that ours doesn't have a pool. It just knows the proximity of the location based on the other listings that's around the area, which is fairly close. Like, I would say probably half a mile away from ours, right? And it even gives you kind of like the projection, which is, again, this is huge because it's not what we can expect on ours.
Right.
So, so these numbers, they're not ours. I don't think. What did I say? Our break even was 3,900 because our PITI was 28, right? 28, 29.
Right.
Yeah. So 3,900, like, already it's telling me that it's not a good deal. Like, you're going to have to find a different exit. Yeah.
So the PITI is too high.
Yeah, the PITI is too high. And then, there's other factors as well. But again, going into this next cycle, you want to be super picky and not just pick up any other, it's kind of like, you don't want to just pick anything that's living and breathing, right?
Yeah.
Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
You don't just want to gamble.
Yeah, exactly. And you're gonna, it's gonna bite you in the ass later. So yeah, I think for that, I would probably not do short-term rental at this property, even though it's super close to the beach, even though it looks like it's a great property for it. These numbers tell me otherwise. And so, again, like, if this is one of the peaks in the season in December or going into December and it looks like this, imagine what this will look like. Right?
Right.
Like, that's just going to be a nightmare. And so it's going to be, that's like worse than having an ex-wife follow you. Like, I'll tell you that. So yeah.
So there you have it. There you
Appreciate it,
have it,
man.
Mr. Jose.
Yeah,
So
of
you
course.
know this deal has to be a wrap or lease option.
Okay.
Whether you be the buyer or do you know what a regular rental you could rent for?
3,700,
3,700, and you said PITI is how much?
2,800.
2,800. Okay. So you do have some cash flow as a rental. 2,800, 37. You said 3,700, right?
Yeah.
So that would be a $900 gross cash flow. Depending on your entry fee, how much money are you giving to the seller to walk away?
20,000, and then I gotta pay 2,000 to the agent.
Okay. Let's see. Are you taking this down or wholesaling it?
So initially I was thinking it was a good idea to do a Airbnb, but now I don't. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna.
Everybody and their cousin thinks that nowadays when they say
No,
home.
because it's a right. I mean, it's the normal thought
Yeah,
process because it's close to the beach. It's in Florida. Like
Yeah.
you think that it would do really well, but um, if you don't know how to decipher and look through kind of like the data, it can really be shooting you in the foot later on, because just because you do it well doesn't mean that the demand is there enough to be able to justify that. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as a rental, I mean, $900 is is a good gross cash flow. The thing is, you don't have any monthly payments to the seller, right? It's not a hybrid.
No, exactly. Yeah. He
Okay,
has no
so
equity.
right, so 20 grand to the seller, you giving 2K to the agent. That's 22 grand. Let's call I don't know, $5,000 closing costs. That's 27 grand. Plus 20. Remind me the PIT. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting.
Principal interest is 2,800, 2,883. So you can
20,
say 20.
20 okay, 2,900.
And then taxes is 7,400. So
It's all included, right?
no, it was not including taxes. But that
Oh,
was just principal interest.
okay. What is the actual PITI? Principal interest tax
Sorry.
insurance.
So
So hung is even more right. That would be even more negative.
So you get from the 2,883, you get $620 for taxes.
No. The 28. That number right now. You said 2850.
2,883.
2883. Does that include principal, taxes, insurance,
No,
everything?
no,
No.
it's just
So
principal and
on
interest.
top of that, just
Yes.
principal. Wow. Okay, so it's $600 more for taxes and insurance every single
Taxes
month.
will be 620, and then insurance is gonna be another $170 or something like that.
Okay, so it would be 28 plus basically 100 and $200 more. Call it right.
Yep.
Okay, so your PITI is 3,050 actually, roughly, just a rough number, right?
2,883.
No, about 3,700.
Yeah, about 3,700. Yeah, plus one.
So you're negative cash flow.
Yeah, so no. That's why I was thinking that maybe a short.
Oh, that's why you were thinking of. Okay.
Because a regular rental didn't work.
Okay.
I was
This is then a wrap. This is a wrap or lease option all day.
okay.
You can wrap it. If you don't know how to underwrite wraps, that's something we can help you with. But I would wrap it. But text me if you don't know how to do that. I've done it before. We can go over that on another. We can do a private Zoom tomorrow. But that's a wrap or release option, depending how you want to exit. Now, what is your timeline to close on this property?
I mean, when I talked to the agent, she doesn't have anybody. I mean, she had it on the market for the past 75 days. When we met, we presented this offer. She talked to the seller. She's cool with it. So we just gotta send the agreement. So that's where we
Got
at
it.
right now. We
Okay.
send it. We're gonna move forward. But I was
Okay,
just a
cool.
little worried about the numbers.
Okay, let's go over it tomorrow if you want. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll help. This is a lease option or a wrap, so we can explore both options, see which one works best. But we'll
Okay.
do a private Zoom on that. Hung, thank you so much. Drops jams like always.
Yeah, man.
Guys,
Thanks.
follow Mr. Hung on Instagram. His Instagram is, I think, at Hung May, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Hung V Mai.
Hong V Mai, bro. Why you make it complicated for people, man? Let's see.
I tried Hung Mai. They don't have that, okay? And the guy who does have it, he's freaking a default picture. Like it's a nobody. I try to pay him. I literally said, hey, like I'll pay you like $500. You know, could I buy it from you? And no responses.
Hold on, let me put it in the comments here. Can you see that? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, Hong V Mai on Instagram. Make sure you follow him. If you have any STR questions, again, guys, if you're just jumping in or if you watch this later, we jump in here every single Monday, 6:30 EST. Literally, Hung is hanging out with his family right now on vacation in New York. Took his parents, but he still made the time to jump in here and add value for free. That leads me to the second option. Please, if you got any value, doesn't matter how little or how big it is, can you please take a picture, take a screenshot, share it on your stories? Can you tag us on it? Because somebody else need this same help you need and they don't know about it. So they can jump on here. Secondly, the person that tag us the most, guys, will actually choose them as a guests on the next show. Okay. So please do that, and we appreciate you guys coming on here. See you guys next Monday. And this was the Boom Bold Effects Airbnb. Guys, at 3, we're gonna go boom, 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 and then we're out.
Okay,
1,
awesome.
2, 3, boom,
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 boom.
boom.
Boom. Peace.
Next time we gotta do it together, guys. Come on, man. All right, guys. Peace out. Eric, I see you, my guy. Thank you so much. Eric's always showing up and showing
Later,
up.
guys.
Later, guys.
Bye,
Oh,
CC.
enjoy for me. And bring me back a gift, bro.
I will. I'll get you a T-shirt that
Sounds
says
good.
I love New York.
I don't know about that one. All right, guys. Peace out.
All right, later, guys.
All right.